Welcome back to the Homestead, guys. Time to do a 2025 update video. Seems to be my most popular video so far, so I figured it was time to do an update. Not so much because I have a lot to talk about, but the situation kind of demands it. So, as you can probably read in the title, we'll get to the bad news later, but let's do some good news. Right now, the tractor has about 22 hours on it. Admittedly, most of that is snow removal from a storm we had on January 3rd, about a month ago now. And the balance that's left over from that time is all backhoe work. That backhoe, why you would never get one is beyond me. That backhoe is tremendous. It's weak. Don't expect it. It's not a mini excavator. Doesn't have a lot of power. It's not very fast. But boy, does it beat a shovel. And it is tremendous. And it's one of those things where, would I recommend it? I'm not going to spend your money. But for me, it's been fantastic. It really has been really terrific. Let's see. What else did we do to it? Like I said in the previous video, I did get some seat covers. I haven't put them on yet, but I have them for both tractors. I haven't put them on yet. I will, I promise. I own them. They did come as stocking stuffers. Most of the stuff that I did do was like a new driver who just got his dad's credit card and went to Pep Boys. Admittedly, guilty as charged. I did go with the LED light upgrades. Went with the LEDs all over. LED headlights, LED work lights. These are fantastic. If you're interested in upgrading your headlights or work lights, I'll leave an Amazon affiliate link down below because I'm not stupid. And you could pick up some. On a side note, on the 748, not worth the headlights, but the tail lights, definitely do that. If you have a signature series or whatever you call these X series, an X series, get the LED backup lights. What? They are fantastic. Let's see. What else did I do? I got the tires filled, like I said I would, with rim guard. I mentioned it in the previous video to this. Tremendous company, fantastic, but specifically this is a tractor video. So I got the rear tires in both tractors filled up with rim guard and splitting it evenly. It was about $127 per tractor, per two tires. To get done. It was like $270 total for four tires, four rear tires. So like $130 or so to get the tires filled. Speaking of tires, I also flipped them inside out. I put the dish side towards the street, if you will. I don't really know if it actually did anything. Short of putting the stem towards the rear axle as opposed to, being conveniently put out. But it was in the book. It said I could do it, so I did it. I don't think it improved anything at all, but and I might actually switch it back. If I'm really looking for traction, I'll go with some Boras. Some Bora wheel spacers seems to be the best play. If you have them, please leave a comment down below. How big did you get? 1.5 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch? I'm thinking 1.5 inch, 2 inch. Too much stresses the axles. I've read it, everything, but I'm interested in, what your thoughts are as far as wheel spacers go. What else did we get? Flip the tires, fill the tires, and I got a set of pallet forks. I did get a set of pallet forks, and those are awesome as well for moving logs around, and they do a great job of that. I know in the previous video, Sign of the Times, roughly, I made that video from the time that I'm filming this, roughly 6 weeks ago. I've had the pallet forks about 4 weeks. So there was like a 2-week gap there by the time I made that video and the time that I placed the order. And in that video, I said I was interested in the Titan forks, the Titan attachment forks. They were $575 at the time of making that video. I should have bought them then. Because everything is more expensive. In the 2 weeks it took me to figure life out, and tractor's not the only thing that's going on in my life, it now costs $700 to get those forks. I got 36ers, works for me, and they're really good. It's cheaper than a grapple. I know I appreciate the people who said just get the grapple, but I couldn't swing it. Should have killed me. So that brings us to the bad news. So in the other video, the Is It Worth It video, I mentioned that there's an issue with turning. And I said this: you can't turn the wheels to lock on this just yet. When you go to turn, as if I was turning out of my driveway to put the garbage cans down, it just keeps going straight. I don't know if that's front weight or back weight. Don't know. Four-wheel drive, differential lock, didn't make a difference. So you can't turn the wheel to lock and make a turn. You have to go before lock, and then it'll turn, and then you're doing like a 22-point turn to make a U-turn. And there were a number of comments that were really helpful. They were like, hey, you know, you need to put some front weights on the front of the tractor. You know, having weight in the bucket is really going to help your turning. And to those commenters' credit, they were correct to an extent. I made the mistake the first time of when I first got the forks and I took the quick attach bucket off. I had put the forks on like the other side of the wood yard, and trying to turn with no weight on the front end was almost impossible. So they were correct in that regard. When you do have weight in the front, it is easier to turn. There was no question about that. Good advice. Thank you. But I've noticed since I got it, that tractor makes skid marks wherever it goes. Skid marks. Now, whether it's your tractor or your underwear, you never want to see tracks. You don't want to see that. You want to think that you're rolling. Come on, let's go take a look over here. Skid marks wherever it goes. Got them over there too. So it's my first inclination when you buy something new is to kind of ignore it or go, nah, it's just a soft rubber compound. It's, you know, it's the tires breaking, and it's the little injection nubs wearing off and somehow making skid marks everywhere. But that didn't really make a whole lot of sense. I did replace the tires on the 748s. I got Carlisle Versatracks on them, so I have had new tractor tires. And admittedly, this is paved, and it's not, you know, the ground or the dirt like these things are designed to do. And the tires on the 2025 and the tires on the 748 aren't that different. They're somewhat similar. These are Galaxies. I don't know. I think I heard they're made by Goodyear. I don't know. I never really did any research. Someone's going to correct me in the comments. I think they're Goodyear. I don't really know, but they say Galaxy on them. So I said, well, maybe they're just soft rubber compounds. Look at the tracks. Look at the track. Maybe there's a soft rubber compound that's a little bit softer than the Versaturfs. Until this morning, when I was down at the firewood processing center with the bucket on, preparing for a storm and spreading out some wood chips. Nothing crazy. Admittedly, it's not the most, free firewood. It's not the most level of area. There's nothing sticking up out of the ground. It was real muddy. Spread some of the wood chips around. And then it kind of froze with ruts in it. Like, okay, I get it. It's not the most optimal thing to drive on, but it's not too bad. There's no huge ruts. It's a lot better than it was, mud covered and really rutted. You can kind of see back there the way it was. That's when I kind of took notice that the tractor really wasn't turning. Anybody see a problem here? One of these is straight. One of them isn't. So now, of course, on a Friday, before this historic blizzard nor'easter is coming to make landfall, although we should be okay here, I'm down a tractor. 22 hours. Wood chips killed it. I think it's just the linkage, sway bar. I don't know what that is, but this bar here in the one right there behind the kickstand, I think that might be out of whack. The knuckles are still connected. The tie rod ends are still connected. Nothing's leaking. There's no fluid coming out of it. My fluids are all good. I think it just got caught up in one of them frozen ruts down there. And I don't know. Dare I say Chinesium? I don't know what that's made out of. Perhaps that's not one of the parts that are made in China. Front end loader is. Perhaps that's not a Chinese part, and that's good American steel. So the point of all this, was this something that was going on from the beginning? It was just exacerbated by the rough driving this morning? Perhaps, I don't know. All I know is that I'm not real happy right now. With supply chain and all the other nonsense that's going on. You know, the dealer can't come and pick it up for another couple days. They said maybe they'll get to me Monday. It's now Friday. I'm not real happy. I've done everything short of flipping that X748 and it still rocks and rolls. Boy, do I love that thing. I'll never get rid of it. And it's never, I shouldn't say it never broke. Parts have failed on it, but it's never not been able to perform. Even when the fuel filter blew up, that was a 10-minute fix. This is busted. $32,000 paperweight with tires that make skid marks all over and now won't drive in a straight line because the tires are all cocked over. Leave a comment down below what you think it is. I don't actually know. It's obviously still sitting here. It's waiting to get picked up by the dealer. Benty thing? Bent hydraulic rod? I don't know. At this point, it did work good. That's good English. It has worked well so far. The only other issue that I had was one of the hydraulic male-females came loose, so I lost the up and down on the front end loader, and 2 seconds on Green Tractor Talk had me, come out, double check it, and it was totally fine. This is not a 2-second fix, and again, at risk of repeating myself, I'm not really happy. Should have got a Kubota.